of this series. Of course, we're into Alternate aTTaX versus Penta Sports, and going into Cobblestone after we saw Penta just clinch a secure victory over the 16-14 opponents of Alternate aTTaX. And obviously, Harry is joining me today. And what are your predictions for the final map, Harry?
Well, I mean, ultimately, I think that we've seen some fairly surprising stuff today from both teams. Penta stepping up on Dust was something that, I really didn't see coming. When you look at it so far, I mean, strategically speaking, it is one of Penta's strongest maps so far throughout this tournament. They've gone 3-1 on it so far. Out of the 4 times they've played it, they have won 3. Which gives them, what, a 75% win ratio, which is always fairly decent. But, it's nothing compares to Alternate aTTaX's 13-3 currently that we've seen across the last 3 months. Of course, we do have a little bit more data for Alternate aTTaX. I feel like to kind of compare them, it's best to look at what we've seen so far within this league solely. When we look at Cobble, though, we can see that right now, it is going to be Penta. They're 1-1, so they've played it twice. They won 1, they lost 1. On the other hand, Alternate aTTaX, they're 3-0. So definitely as we head into this, I do feel like it is going to lean towards Alternate aTTaX, but you always have to bear in mind they are playing, without their full roster. So, I mean, it could really go either way.
What's your final prediction, though? You can't sneak out that one. I know.
Oh no, I'm not. Hang on, wait. Before you accuse me of sneaking out, I've just provided you with all the figures, all the data. Right? Yeah. Why don't you give a prediction for once, Hugo?
Right, okay. I'll go for Alternate aTTaX. I'm going for Alternate aTTaX. What about you? Are you going to go on the other side?
Well, I mean, I do. On paper, they have annihilated most of the
so
teams
Harry's
they've
going
played.
for Penta. Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm going for Alternate aTTaX as well. I mean, they're 3-0 right now. They've played phenomenally well, and Penta, they actually got ruined on Cobble. So it's okay. Like I say though. Wouldn't surprise me if we could see a bit of an upset, at least from the perspective, just because Penta, they are playing with their full 5 roster. But really heading into this one now, kicking things off, as the knife round is going to be underway. We haven't had a knife round yet showing on the stream, which is going to be exciting. But basically, it's just a bunch of people stabbing each other to death. So,
it's like South London. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, depending on where you live in the world, you might already be used to seeing such a spectacle. But, I mean, yeah, there we go. It is going to be Penta picking up the knife round. And that's kind of the start they'd be looking for, because at least they get to choose their side.
Yeah, definitely, and this is one of the maps so you can kind of switch or stay at this point. There's no real pressure on you. It is a statistically T-sided map, but again, you do have a lot of teams that are just better on CT. They just don't want to play that T-side. I feel like Alternate aTTaX on their T-side here is lethal, so I'd like to see Penta switch to the T-side, just so they can kind of prohibit them from getting that good start, and that is going to be something very important. So yeah, I feel definitely that Penta need to switch, even if they may not have any tricks up their sleeve for the T-side. Alternate aTTaX's T-side on Cobble is pretty outstanding, so you'd like to think they'd do that, but then again, let's see what they're doing. You can see they're obviously making some kind of decision. They've obviously not committed to any choice just yet, otherwise we'd be into the game. But yeah, for those wondering why that is our first knife round as well, obviously in previous maps, the winner, whoever picks the map, the opponent picks a side. So obviously on Dust 2 we had Alternate aTTaX pick the side. No, sorry, Penta picked the side because it was Alternate's map pick, and on Cash we had the vice versa. So going to the third map, neither of them picked it, so we will have that knife round. But yeah, regardless, yet to see what Penta are really going to do with this one. Taking it into the pistol round, obviously, and yeah, they are going to choose to stay. I don't agree with the decision, but maybe they have a reason for it. I'm not really in their comms, nor do I speak German. But let's see how this one goes, obviously. Alternate aTTaX, they are going to be setting outside of the B site. A very typical setup here on this T side pistol.
Yeah, but there's just going to be armor across the board. It's for Penta. They don't want to, they're not taking any chances. They don't want to let that bomb go down, but the timing couldn't be worse. As Stefan pulls out a drop, that's when the push comes underway, and that could bode extremely bad. Now, Crystal has to try and compensate for this, and sadly, it's too much to ask. He gets taken down. Tizian's able to find him. Now it's Mike S, alone and isolated, locked down over towards Chicken Coop, trying to hold down this site on his own, and he's doing a great job of it. Found 2 frags already, not giving up, buying plenty of time for the rotate to come through. As Stefan's able to find 1, Oscarish finds a second, finds himself 2 frags there, and Mike S on 2 as well. Just the sheer ability to hold that one down, play around the Chicken Coop, and just turn that into a multitude of one-on-one duels, ultimately wins Penta that first pistol, which of course should allow them to potentially take us to a 3-0 scoreline in the absence of a plant from Alternate aTTaX. I just nearly died, by the way. Fun fact.
What happened?
I swallowed my own tongue somehow. That was the most horrible feeling I've ever felt in my life.
But you legitimately swallowed your tongue.
Yeah. And there we go. We're going to be seeing a force buy on the cards for aTTaX into this one. They're very dangerous with these upgraded pistols, though.
Yeah, the run and gun style and the deagles as well is going to be pretty massive. We know what these Germans are like with the deagles. It can be lethal, so already pushing up to the A site is going to be Searson, but he's unable to wield any success with that weapon. Oscar, he's going to be able to hold him down, so first kill already the way of the Penta. Look at this aggression from Crystal. He's all the way pushed up on long. Alternate attacks are yet to really get this kind of information. They're going to dive in right through into his sweep grasp. It will be Crystal to get that bomb dropped in the site and follow up with a second as well. No trade coming out, but he backs off towards the site. Nade in hand, sorry, pistol going to be out as he runs out of ammo, but the rest of his team are swooping right in to clean up the pieces of this broken round. It's all going to be on Tizian here. He has to pick up something pretty phenomenal. He's wielded himself a FAMAS, but just decided to stick with the Tech 9, maybe the best weapon for the run and gun, corner peeking AD spamming. But regardless, he has so many players pushing in on towards him, and they are playing this very, very safe, despite them not really having the bomb control in their hands.
Yeah, and there we go. Tizian, going to be hard for him to make anything happen while he's 6 feet under. He gets taken out, and now it's going to be 2-0 scoreline achieved for Penta. And let's not forget, if you are just joining us, this is the ESL Meisterschaft finals. Of course, it is the Winter 2016 one. If you don't know the time period that we're in, that is what it is. For those of you who, well, unless you're from the other side of the globe, but here in Europe, it's God, this is a shambles. But yeah, currently it's 1-1. Penta and aTTaX have both picked up a map each, making this the decider. The loser will be going home, and the winner, well, they continue through to the finals to face the winner of Division versus, I believe it's, how have I forgot? Euronics. There we go. But yes. Yeah, there we go. What a good start, eh? Anyway, this round very much going to be drawing to a close early on. It was a bit of a throwaway, as we can see aTTaX just being shut down over here towards long. There goes Stefan to find that last frag out. And it's Ryson as Penta, they take it to a 3-0 scoreline.
Yeah, good stuff to start things off, but now can they converge as we go into the buy round for aTTaX? They've got the rifles up, they haven't got this AWP, but again, it's really not been too much of an issue. We have mentioned the roster not being full for aTTaX, and obviously the lack of Keeve on that AWP is probably going to be one of the reasons they're just sticking with the rifles a lot of the time, and we've seen players like Searson and Tizian pick it up when they do make that decision, but it has been very rare regardless. And they are a team that don't really pick up the AWP, even though Keeve is quite an outstanding AWP. They do like to go with those full rifles quite a lot, even when they do have the economy to do so. So going into this buy round, obviously it's going to be important in terms of getting themselves off on the right foot, but if they lose out on it, we're likely seeing a 5-0 here for Penta, as they will be ecoing the next. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on them either way, but setting up outside of the A side, it seems. Tizian's going to be bringing the bomb to join the others, and only one player to hold this one off. It will just be all on the shoulders of Tarson here. Smoke does go down. No players to commit to any duels through that, though. Just going to back off safely. Don't want their tracers to give away their position just yet. And we do see a bit of a rotation from Penta as they move a player back towards the site. That will be my guess. So now we have a bit of a double play, but Tarson's so far away, he's going to be playing a 1 versus 5, basically, as they push him towards. But they run right past him! Tarson almost gets something done, but Searson's going to turn right back around to take him down. And now the rotations come in. The smokes are going to be on the door. And aTTaX are committing to this one, my guess, in a great angle, but he's not going to be able to find himself anything. Gimpen will shut him down, and Stefan can at least get one for his troubles, trying to make it into a second as well. Crispy just going to get away with there as Searson supports his falling teammate, and a 3v2 going to be in play.
Now it's all on Crystal. He's going to get dropped. Tizian, no issue there to take him out. It goes 3-1 as aTTaX. They do pick up that first all-important round to start to make their way back into this one.
Yeah, definitely. And only losing one player is so important as well for the side of aTTaX. It means, they aren't going to have too much issues with economy later on in the game. And I mean, I'm looking into it a little bit deep there, but obviously keeping the money high on the T side is of much importance. And Penta, going into this round, they are going to be on the AWP as well as alongside the rifles, but a reset is always on the cards here for aTTaX. If Penta pick up this round, alternate, they could face a real issue of, getting forced back down to the $1,400 loss bonus. Okay, but I'm just going to switch off the screen for a quick second. We're having some issues with the clean feed, but it will be fixed in just a second. So yeah, we're fixed. Hopefully we're all back, Harry. Hopefully we're all back.
Yeah, no, hopefully it's all good. Yeah, just a few little issues here and there. Don't worry, guys, just teething problems. It'll be all good as we continue on throughout the rest of the day. We can see right now aTTaX. They've got 4 players over towards A once again, trying to exert some pressure where they previously found success. Tizian on that lurk over towards the B site, playing over towards the drop-down area. If he can hop on down, take control of connector, then he can prevent rotates from there. He can also get a boatload of information, and that's going to be the plan of the hour. 50 seconds left. Alternate aTTaX in no danger of running out of time anytime soon. Can see three of them making their way up towards long. Flash goes out. It's going to provide the cover necessary as Oskarish is playing up close. He's going to be up against it as he tries to find an opening frag. They do push around, but he can't get much on the back of it. They go for the aggressive peek, and Gimpen's there to drop him out. Meisterschaft able to get one, but then it's going to be Enki J to trade things back out. Now, this is where the lurk from Tizian could come into effect, but it's not going to as Stefan drops him out of the equation, leaving it now in a 2-on-2. Trades going back and forth, but ultimately it's going to be equalized on out. And now Bomb does cross over the site.
Yeah, getting planted as well, so Stefan chucking in that deep nade to try and do some damage, but they've already moved off of this one. Crystal's going to be flashing over as well, and they will have to hurry up and commit to this. The lack of kit could be a real issue for them, but they're going to just charge right in. It's going to be Stefan and Crystal to try and take these fights, but no one's going to be biting the bullet. Enki J, though, just going to peek a little bit too far around that corner, but look at the Molotov. Crispy can just throw it on the bomb. That could be perfect here. His heart rate's going up, but he still has that molly, and it could go down. It will. Landing right on the site, the defuse is now going to be denied, and that should be the round here for alternate attacks. Crystal will get the kill nonetheless, but the time, oh, he just has enough. That is going to be the defuse. He does have a kid instead, and look at that time. Just a quick second left and he gets it. So 3-1, now turned into 4-1. The reset and alternate attacks this economy. And while they will get the bomb down to supply them a little bit more money, it's not going to be the best buy we've ever seen.
I mean, Crystal's someone who hasn't really had too much of an up and down heartbeat as much as everyone else, but my god, it nearly went to 170. I mean, like, should there be a competition? If anyone reaches 200, then they get, you know, they get a prize, and also probably die. But
they get a free coffin.
The money will be sent to their next of kin, and that is a promise. For the time being, we are be seeing it go to 4-1. Oskarish on the mag 7, trying to play that up close and personal over towards long. Not going to find anyone just yet. While his teammate Tarzan left to fend for himself in towards mid, is going to be dropped out of the equation very early on. They continue with this aggression over towards the A site, but Oskarish is in the back line. He's in a very good position to try and put the hurt on them. Enki J, who's pushing in towards long, could potentially shut this down, but they don't spy Oskarish just yet. Sadly, they do turn around, and Tizian gets the bear of him. In that Angel does come off, finger on the trigger, takes him down, and now it's going to be a one-man advantage going the way of aTTaX as they get the bomb down over towards A.
Just to notice, Enki's standing heart rate is the same as what he had before the game, so he's really chilled. He's been going for a little bit of a smoke in the middle, but either way, it's swap from Gimpen, and now the retake is going to be on. First kill going the way of Tizian, though. He's going to be able to put it back into a 3-on-2, and now Penta, they're going to start to fall off their feet, but Mike S and Stefan, they're both coming back in with a kill each. It's all on Enki, and he only has a Tech 9. The Mag 7 not going to be great at this range. He peeks out, takes the fight, and he's going to succeed as well. The pistol getting him the kill, retrieves an AK and sprays, but Mike S will walk into it, and that will be Penta to pick up the round by the skin of their teeth. But is there time? Or there is just time. 5-1.
I mean, it's all looking to come up Penta for the time being, despite on paper, I mean, you know, Alternate being the better team and currently being 3-0 on Cbble. You know, statistics aren't everything, especially when they're not playing with their full lineup, and that is something that could really prove to be an issue, especially on a map like Cbble, where having these kind of smooth transitions, these very precise strategies is oh so important. It can be hard to relay that when you're missing even one player, but missing two could really be something that holds and impedes alternate attacks a little bit here. You can see playing up close in mid, it's going to be Tarzan, gets one, goes for the second, but Sryson up close, quick to refrag, puts it into the 4-on-4, and the rotate already fully underway as they send two players in towards this A site to lock it down. The rest of the B guys slowly but surely folding on through as well. Crystal up close and personal with the AWP, drops out Tizian, leaving it now in a 3-on-4.
Yeah, the time is still plentiful, but alternate attacks do want to get this bomb down to at least another. CT's getting back into the site. Crystal's head may just be exposed here, but Citizen's not even going to take that fight. Crystal's just smoked off, and he's having a bit of a struggle in that sense as well. Bomb going down regardless, and now Penta, they are going to have to come in for this retake. Again, they are only up against pistols with the exception of the rifle secured on Gimpen, so this should, on paper, be a fairly easy retake, but can they make it work? That's the question. Gimpen just holding onto the site. The flash is going over, the smoke's landing as well, and Stephanie's going to kick things off. Gimpen to trade, but he falls as well. It's all on Enki J, alone with a Tech 9, gets himself one, but Oskarish will finish it off, and Penta, they're going to pick up the round. 6-1 now. Massive stuff for them so far. I question their CT side choice going into this map, but it seems to have been very fruitful.
I mean, yeah, so far it's been perfect, and a lot of that as well is going to just come from the synergy and the communication available for this, you know, what is just their full lineup. Oskarish, of course, being someone who's playing as, you know, a little bit of a stand-in for the time being, but even then, we've seen him doing phenomenally well. He's gelled with the team really well, and they've had a lot of practice with him, but it is going to be 6-1 for the time being. A rifle buy on the cards for alternate attacks.
Yeah, Tarsin fast peeking up towards long. Won't spot anything, but that's going to be quite unconclusive because aTTaX have actually got multiple players towards this A side. It's looking very, very likely to be this take, and that means this B stack is very heavily in the favour of aTTaX in the sense that they are not hitting towards a site with 4 players on. Tarsin, he's going to throw out a smoke, nade to follow as well, and aTTaX, finally, they start to make their initial presence. Tarsin going to wrap himself around the back of the plywood, but Tarsin is ready to perform that shutdown manoeuvre. Takes him down, tries to follow up as well, but Tizian's there to trade him back into a 4-on-4, but aggression here as Penta. They push Mike straight out onto the site, jumping off the balcony. It's a real risk here. He's going to be in a bit of an unexpected position, but that will only be able to wield in 1 kill. Surely, wrapping around the back, he spots out Tizian, but there's another player on the ramp. Follows up with the AWP. He's not going to hit the second shot, and NK taking him down. Now into a 3-on-2 retake here for Penta.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky to make their way in towards this site, being a man down, but they're trying nonetheless. And, well, flashes going on out. They might be able to find one in mid as they do good damage on NKJ. He's not ready to go down just yet, but Crystal's able to trade things out. It's a 1-on-2, and Gimpen finds the head of Crystal, shuts him down, and gets the second round on the board for aTTaX, but still it is an uphill battle as they do find themselves 4 rounds behind Penta.
Yeah, this is looking quite scary, even so. So, again, we are early days. It could really go either way, but it's still got to be a little bit frightful for aTTaX, who are yet to kind of make any entry into this map so far. They've got themselves 2. They've got the buy-up as well, which means Penta obviously going to have to be on this eco after not being able to save many players in the rounds they have won. But a fast play up towards long, maybe able to wield some success, or maybe I'll take that back. Searson and Gimpen going to combine. Very easy stuff for them. Mike, he does trade 1, but that will probably be it for him this round. They don't want to let him grab a rifle. They're likely going to be chasing, and Searson will do exactly that. Another round here to aTTaX just to double it down, but Penta, they're going to be bringing out the big guns now.
Well, I mean, on that eco, they didn't really lose a lot. They lose Gimpen, but that's it. They keep 4 players alive, and already you can see the effect that has had on the economy for aTTaX. Penta now, they're able to buy on up, 4 rifles in play, and a UMP up on Stefan. Plenty of utility on the cards. No defuse kit, though. It's going to be fairly curious. And as we take a look at the heartbeat monitors once again, you can see just off the charts for everyone, with the exception of Crystal, who's now calmed down from his earlier spout of, heart attack. We can see Tizian pushes down in towards drop down, trying to exert some pressure early on. We haven't seen this much aggression coming out from aTTaX just yet. Well, it might be well founded. He's going to be Clapstock. He finds one, looking for a second, does good damage, takes out Stefan. Him and Crispy just combining there to hold down drop, but as Oscar continues that raw aggression to try and hold things back, he's able to do great damage on a Crispy as well. It's a 4-on-3. The man advantage leading the way of aTTaX. Now they reroute their approach and start making their way in towards A. As you can already see, everyone from the side of Penta has rotated it over at this B site.
Yeah, Tarsin trying to catch his players off before they can get the bomb down, although the time is still very heavily in their favour. He waits for the first player to peek, and it will be Searson very close. Takes him out as well. Molotov forces him back. 30 HP just left on him here as he backs off into this little cubby room. Bomb, in the meantime, going to be going down on the site, so now the retake is well and truly on here, and it's going to be equal ground as well. 2 players tagged up on either side. Not too sure about the utility. That is one issue I noticed with the heart rate monitors. I can't really tell. And I don't know what the kits are like either, but I'm sure they have one at least. But NK is going to be holding down the first. Takes down Oscar. Tarsin will trade, but it's back and forth as he falls as well. All going to be on Crystal now. AK in hand. Has to wrap around this corner, but Gimpen is going to be more than ready to take that fight. Round going to aTTaX, but again, Penta, they're back on this eco.
aTTaX starting to find their footing. Is actually going to bode quite well for them here. The economy's building up. They've also just completely ruined the momentum that Penta had. You can already see their economy's taken a hit and a turn for the worst. P250s across the board. They do have a smoke and a flash, but really that's going to be it. We are going to be seeing a much more kind of passive hold, I imagine, coming out right now, though, from Penta. They don't go for the rush in towards mid. They do have this utility to play around with, so I think they're going to be trying to use that to hold back what they can, do whatever damage they can find. Sorry, not fake flash, proper flash out towards long. Don't know how I thought that, but it doesn't find anyone just yet. Both players having to fall on back now, and aTTaX not playing into the hands of these pistols for the time being, just taking things nice and slowly in a very un-aTTaX-like fashion, actually. Trying to exert some pressure over towards this B site.
Yeah, all their players wrapping back as well. While they may have a couple holding the flank, they are going to be late committing to this site. So at this point, there's no way a fake's going to be coming in. If they were trying to split in towards the A site through connector, they must have had one player on long or short, but it's not going to be the case. They're just fully pushing out along the long plateau as well. Tarsin going to be the first to find some damage, but it is going to be alleviated as Crystal. He goes down, Stefan as well, but Mike towards the back of the chicken coop. I think they just spotted him. Spam comes in. Gimpen lands a crucial headshot there. So only Oscar and Tarson left to try and find something here. aTTaX are going to run them to the ground. And Oscar just to get sprayed through the smoke as well. Round going to go to aTTaX. But it is 5-6, and Penta, they're pulling in their buy once again. This time the loss bonus much heavily in their favour. So an AWP will be out on Tarson and plenty of utility too.
I mean, the interesting thing is, there's actually a lot of rivalry between these two teams. When you look at them throughout the league, every time they've played together, alternate attacks have been the victors. So, you know, there is a little bit of a history between these two teams, somewhat throughout this league, as we have seen Penta haven't really had the most formidable performances against them. This time, I think it becomes a lot more personal because we are at such a critical stage in the competition, in particular on a map that alternate attacks are currently undefeated on. Penta really have to try and throw a spanner in the works, and that's what we're seeing for the time being. Tarzan falls early on. Now it's stepping over towards drop. He has to try and hold this one down. Smokes it off, goes out for the peek, peeks wide, finds one through the smoke, looking for a second, doing so much damage, but Cbble finally finds him. Now it's a 3-on-4. Cbble might be tagged down low, but they still are fielding the one-man advantage for the side of aTTaX. And Gimpen over towards long here. Does spot out one player, Oskarish in mid. Quick to shut down this push though, picks up both Saracen and Cbble, leaving it all on NKJ as Gimpen also falls over towards long. NKJ alone and isolated over towards drop down.
And the bombs, it's on the other side of the map as well. He's nowhere near it. I don't think he's even going to have time to get it and get a plant, considering there are 2 opponents, or 3 in fact if he's planting on A, on his way to get that site plant. So right now it's looking like another round for Penta in the bag here. Obviously NK could pull out some incredible clutch. I just don't really see it happening here. He's going to be in a very tough one, but at least Penta finally going to make their way back on the board after a 4-round deficit in the way of alternate attacks. So NK going to be able to catch out a free kill. Oh, he's playing this clever. I like this. The issue is the time's so low. He hasn't really got enough to go for any kind of ballsy play, but taking down crystals, he moves himself down. There's another player in the close middle area, and he's not even going to go for it. He's going to try and grab this bomb, I'd like to think, but the flash comes in. Good timing from Oskarish, and he will get that kill as well. So Penta finally get themselves on the board, as I said, back to 7 rounds here. And alternate attack still able to buy, so it's not going to be too much of a tough task for them. And the reset is going to be on this on the table as well.
Yeah, economic reset, and definitely a potential right now for the side of Penta. If they relinquish this round, it could allow alternate attacks to equalize things back at a 7-7 scoreline. So it is in their best interest to bring their A game into this one. It's a very pivotal round as we do head into now the 13th round, I believe. Yeah. So, you know, only 2 rounds away from this being the end of the half. It's very critical that they try and maintain this lead. 1 round away from winning out the half. And Oskarish, he's been so key at holding down mid. He's done it brilliantly in the past. Looking to try and replicate that success, but not going to be the case as Cbble, he goes huge, opens it up with 2 headshots as now they look to carry this momentum on, making their way over towards A, pushing up slope. They also send, I believe that's NKJ over towards long to just split out onto the site. Crystal does find himself alone, 9 HP, playing up close and personal with the UMP in hand, just biding his time on the site here. I'm not sure they saw him cross, but they should check it anyway. NKJ is able to find that frag, no problem, as it gets put into a 2-on-4 now. Penta tasked with a very difficult decision. I think they are just going to have to go for the save, though.
But look at the money left in the reserves here. $1,400 they'll get for this loss as a reset comes in, combined with a max of 800 spell, 950 there. So basically no money. 2,300 is a max, but at the lowest 1,400 on Mike, assuming he doesn't get a kill in this round. So we are looking at another terrible round for Penta. They could force buy alongside 2 rifles. If they had 3, that would definitely be the case, but 2 is kind of that point where you go, do we want to force? Do we want to invest that money? It's a very difficult decision to make, and so they've got to obviously make their own choice on that. I feel like it wouldn't be wise. I feel like just double eco and then go for the buy in the last round, but it is getting very, very close to the end of the half, which is a bit of an issue. It was not even double eco. They haven't got time for that. They've only got time for 1 eco and then a buy. So I would understand if they forced it up here, but it is going to be a very hard decision to make.
I think what we're most likely going to be seeing is, yeah, they're going to force buy down on like you said, the 3 players who couldn't. But then I think we're going to be seeing Stefan and Mike S playing a site together, trying to play things quite passive. No, we're not going to be seeing that, so never mind. I'm just going to give up trying to have my input. But yeah, it is looking like they split them up. I imagine both these players are going to be the first ones to get the hell out of there if it comes down to it. Try and hold on to whatever weapons they can to facilitate a bye into the next round if this one doesn't go their way. Penta, though, they should try and switch something up here, and they've done that in the form of rotating everyone over towards this B site very early on. They leave Tarzan on his own over towards A to hold things down. He does have the flash for mid. He's also got a 5-7 in armor, which can be devastating at these closer ranges. He falls on back for the fast rotate as well in towards B as he heads over towards the connected doors there. We can see alternate aTTaX. They're still stacked up outside of this B site, trying to find some damage from the smoke if they can. Right now, Penta aren't going to give them anything, any sort of leeway into this site.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be the case, just playing it passive and slow, and that seems to be the way to do it, because now the time's getting ticked down. Alternate aTTaX, he had to find a pick. They have a bit of a crossfire, but Oscaris, he's going to be forced out of position, gets himself a dink on the exit. Not exactly the best kind of damage done, but at least he gets something without going while going down. His teammate's going to have to pick up the slack, though, and Stephanie's going to be on the last rifle remaining as Mike S has dropped on the site. He has to find something quickly, but nothing's going to present itself. He goes in for more. That's Crispy to be found, but it's still a 2v3, and despite Alternate having two tagged up players, they are going to be holding the flank where Tarson is walking straight into all on Stefan now. Bomb's got to be down. They have enough time to pick that up and go for the plant, but he has so many players to deal with, and he is actually holding the bombs well. But Tizian, disgusting shot there to pick up the 7th round there for alternate aTTaX. So one more left of the half, and obviously I understand the force from Penta, but it isn't going to reap the best success, so now they have to force things up once again for the final one.
Yeah, and a forced by scenario isn't where you want to be. Mike S does have the Nova to get those damn kids off his lawn. As you can see, he's going to be probably playing that up close and personal, perhaps in towards drop, but another position is very viable over towards mid, and that's what we're going to be seeing, as a matter of fact. Him and Oscarish holding down mid. But it isn't going to make a difference here as aTTaX. They go very aggressive, push up in towards its B site, up close to personal. Crystal doesn't go down just yet, but he does eventually. It's Stefan to try and trade things out, but ultimately Frags going back and forth, going to be favoring the side of alternate aTTaX here as they wreak havoc, pushing in towards this B site. The retake trying to come through. Oscarish trapped on the other side there, and well, Tarzan as well does have the deagle, but ultimately they're stuck on the other side of these utilities. Crispy is going to be able to find that one frag, leaving it all in the hands of Tarzan here. 1 versus 4. He does have a deagle in hand. He is not going to be able to land those shots, though. Tizian does find him and wins the half out for alternate aTTaX, fielding an 8-7 scoreline despite a very strong start from Penta.
Yeah, great stuff for both teams. I don't think either team going into the second half can be too upset. A T-sided map nonetheless, but more of an equal one than that of maybe Nuke on the CT side, for example, or Train. So, yeah, I think this is okay for both teams. It's all going to be dependent on the pistol round, though, in getting that early lead into the second half. Obviously, if you play it right, the pistol round could typically grant you 2 more free rounds, assuming you are not a CT and the Ts get the bomb plant in the first, meaning they buy up in the third. But yeah, it's very difficult that we see the 3 rounds come in, and then you win 1 buy round, you're up 5, and it's just so easy to kind of close out a map, even at an equal half like that. So they are both going to be going for this pistol round. Very, very important one indeed in this map. And for those just tuning in, again, this is the 3rd map on Cobblestone. We saw alternate aTTaX pick up the first on Cash, Penta follow up on Dust 2, and the loser of this on Cobble is going to be heading home with 1,400 or 1,600 euros, sorry, whereas the winner heading forward to the finals. And look at this into the pistol. Tarson, he is going to be very fast into the drop down. This is a full A split if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not even an A split. It's just send everyone through connector. It's just an A push, but very, very intricate A push as they make their way up through connector. It gets put into a 4-on-4. Crispy able to try and trade things out. Crystal up close and personal, going to have to bite the dust there as Sirius does find him with the USP. And now Tizian exerting his own aggression over towards Long, coming up behind Tarzan there. Whiffs so many shots. What are you doing, Tizian? Please, for the love of...
God.
Oh my God, what's... Oh, there we go. He rep... Finally, Tizian. How hard was that? And now it's going to be an Oscarish 1 versus 3, Glock in hand, 1 versus 2 as he finds a nice headshot out on a Tizian. He's not ready to go down just yet. He has to try and deny the defuse as he comes up close to personal, finds 1. He's going to get taken down. And Crispy, he picks up the kit. He's got more than enough time, but a nice attempt there from Oscarish at the end.
Yep, good stuff indeed. It is going to be that 9-7. So alternate aTTaX, they were kind of struggling at the beginning of this map, but they seem to have brought it back in style, and now taking the pistol means that they can likely secure another couple of rounds, putting them up to an 11-7 scoreline, which is by no means a complete finish, but it's definitely a great start into the second half. So you can't count Penta out regardless, as obviously bomb down, so only 1 eco, so a 10-7 is going to be definitely happening here, and then we will see the buy. So could be worse now for Penta, obviously, but that's quite a scary prospect, you know, knowing that you're going to be 3 rounds behind when you go into your first buy and your first attempt to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Penta are, you know, entirely too phased by this just yet. I mean, as they push in towards this B site, it should just be a simple mow down here for alternate attacks, looking to try and farm some money, and that's exactly what we're seeing as Sirius picks up 2 on the back of this UMP. Tizian gets 1 as well with the Mag 7, just raiding in some death, but if they can get this bomb down, saying that, very, very awkwardly, Stefan just gets completely decimated before he has the chance to. It is going to go 7-10, like you say, there's that 3-round difference, but, you know, quite importantly, something that we have seen a lot, Hugo, that you cannot take out of the equation here is the alternate attacks. Their CT sides have been incredibly weak. We saw them almost dwindle 2 games in a row entirely based on their CT side performances. Cash, of course, was a lot closer than it needed to be. Dust, too, I felt was ultimately lost because of alternate attacks' relatively poor CT side. So as we head into this map, well, they do have a slight advantage. Penta not entirely out of the equation just yet.
Well, the thing is, on the CT side, it does come down to that team play a lot more than the aim, whereas it's so prevalent on the T side. So losing 2 of their players, at least not being in this roster for this event, could be one of the reasons the CT side is so weak. They are typically a very aim-heavy team, and while that can obviously favour the CT side sometimes, it's typically the entries that you're going to want on that terrorist side. So, you know, you can kind of expect they are playing a little bit more puggy than usual in terms of not having their full roster, so being a little more successful on the T side. It just comes down to those aim battles, but yeah, it does seem to be a bit of a bane of their existence, and maybe they may have struggles in closing out this map too. That is always on the cards. I would hope not to see that, but it could go either way at this point. It's not a yellow brick road for success for either team, I guess you could say.
And well, for the time being, Penta, they've already sent 4 players in towards drop. Lots of them in there. Sirius on site alone, trying to play around the fountain. We do see Tizian rotating on through, but still it's the 2 players here to lock down this B site, and Tizian only with the Swag 7. He's going to be completely ruined when he comes up against these rifles. Gimpen does find 1 on the back of that nade, but that is going to be it. 2 versus 4, and alternate attacks. They retreat off this site. Ultimately, it's going to go 8-7, and they do manage to keep the UMP on Enki J and the FAMAS on Gimpen, but that's really going to be it. Everyone else for the side of Penta, 4 players still alive, rifles across the board, a good bit of utility as well. Pretty much everything they could have asked for to help bolster the economy that much more.
Yeah, definitely so, but either way, nice work from Penta in their first buy round, actually getting things in their favour again. So it's going to be a complete save though from alternate attacks. No chasing coming down from Penta. Obviously their economy isn't strengthened too much in that sense, so everyone's kind of getting away with their lives here, and Penta more so in terms of building up their economy. But going into the 18th or 19th round, I guess you could say now, alternate attacks money, that's going to be the main issue. Yeah, they can get a buy together. They can drop 2 weapons and then have a last player forcing up with a FAMAS or a UMP. So yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to buy up into this one. Didn't really think that was too off the table, especially the fact that they just picked up the pistol, so they had a little spare money as well. On Penta, they're on to the full AKs now, so they brought out the big guns.
Yeah, bringing out the big guns. Indeed, we are going to be seeing on the side of Penta just AKs across the board. It's going to allow plenty of momentum, not opting for the AWP. And the side of attacks, I mean, they haven't really got much to deal with this. 3 FAMASes in play, UMP up on Enki J, and Sirius being the only player with, you know, the M4 in hand. Of course, the big brother to the FAMAS is going to be the preferred weapon to have in this situation, but still we can currently see Penta, 4 players over towards this B site. They've had good success here previously, and they're trying to replicate that again into round number 19. We can see they throw their smokes and flashes on in, but now, I mean, Crystal looks to be falling on back as they rotate, looking like it's going to be making its way up towards this A site potentially, as they do fall on back. They send 2 players out drop, but the flash goes out. Tizian able to capitalize on it, does find the opening frag. He's still holding firm, but Crystal is there to trade things out. Are they going to be ready for Crispy to come in through the rear? Oh, there we go. The frags just all come up. Penta in the blink of an eye. It's all going to be on Gimpen now, and it's extremely, almost worryingly low heart rate as he does grab an AK, looks to fall on back, but through the smoke, Crystal finds that frag.
Yeah, nice stuff from Penta again. They are keeping it going strong, and now going into the next round, alternate attacks, their money is going to be completely abysmal in this. Can't afford to buy by any means. It's going to be just pistols, I can only imagine. And yeah, we can see a bit of investment. Okay, I like this. Just something to add to the table, I guess. A couple of Deagles, a couple of PT50s, but by and large, not wanting to drop below 2k, so they still have the money left to buy up in the in the buy round. So going to be very important there, but a bit of spam already found through the doors. I like the economical management though from Penta in terms of picking up this Mac 10. It's very nice to see that they are taking things into account. They know the kind of economical situation for alternate attacks. They know they're going to be on the Seco, so this Mac 10 is going to be perfect at getting $600 kill rewards across the board, and 2 kills is going to be found by it as well. Gimpen's going to be the last here, but he will be caught out by Crystal. You can, okay, maybe not. He's going to grab himself an AK. He's got a couple more to deal with, but again, no armor. This is not an easy task, and yep, double peek. Tarson will find it. Penta, 10 rounds.
Yeah, and arriving at that scoreline is going to bode very well for them here. Like we kind of were saying, it is a bit tricky for alternate attacks on that CT side, and I mean, any round that Penta can grab now is just puts them one step closer towards getting into the finals. And aTTaX playing with this very broken roster, having things equalize out, it's not going to bode well for them now. We've got the AWP up on Crystal as well. Mike S been relegated down to the Mac 10. Interesting decision. I think maybe just looking to try and farm up some cash. Pretty low investment from him up into this one. We can see they leave a lurk up towards A site, just watching long in the form of Mike S and Tarzan. The rest of Penta, meanwhile, slowly but surely, exerting some pressure once again on towards B. A minute, 25 seconds left. Right now, they're just warming up, trying to get some information, trying to potentially find an opening frag to kickstart things off.
Oh, look at that. You can't use a Mac 10 for entering against rifles. Surely not, but Mykes can. Gets that kill on 10kj. Searson does trade things out at least to some extent, but it will just be a 1-for-1, which is favouring the T-side. Gimpen, that you can't afford to miss those bullets. He goes down over on Plat, and Oscarish making it out of there with 12 HP remaining. Crystal does fully blind Tizzy, who's going to be unable to hit that spray now, but wrapping himself around the back of the site. Just playing ring around a Rosie there with the site, but still, Searson's going to be the one to actually take on the damage on his shoulders. Takes down Oscarish on the rotation. Tarson will follow up, but the flank's already out into Connector. That's going to be him, and now they know exactly where he is, but they're pincered in between a rock and a hard place. One player on long, one player on Connector. Now, Connector player will be backing off, and the long player, well, he's going to be fully rotating with the bomb as well, so bringing this back to the A site with 30 seconds remaining. They have enough time for a plant, and Tarson is going to be holding off for the rotations.
Yeah, issue is, I mean, I don't know if you kind of could see this, but aTTaX, they had to rotate into that quite slowly. They knew that Tarzan was over towards Connector, and as a result, they couldn't just run straight on through, but a nice boost over the smoke could potentially yield this. Strangely enough, he falls off his head, and Crispy doesn't even seem to realize straight away, and that's incredibly slow reaction. Could have potentially cost them this round. They would have been able to kill the bomb on the cross. Now it's Tarzan playing over here, over towards Balcony. Is going to get taken out by Tizian, leaving it all on Stefan. 1 versus 2. He's got a lot to do, and not a lot of time to do it in. He's going to be able to find one, but Tizian is there to trade things out. He will get the defuse, and it will go 10 to 11 as alternate attacks. They retake that round advantage and retake the lead.
Somehow, so close. You'd expect with that boost, it could have been a little better, obviously. If they actually timed that right, and if he didn't fall off, he would have been able to deny that bomb from even getting planted in the first place. But obviously, it's not going to matter at the end of the day, because they pick up the round, and that is what was most important for them there. So now going into the next round, we are obviously going to see both teams still on the pipe and to have that money in the reserve. So they're going to be pulling out those AKs, but still, it's looking very, very close. This is similar to Dust 2 in the sense that this isn't a clear winner either way. There is no stomp coming in here. And I think we're going to bring it once again to a 16-14, or it's definitely looking like it so far.
Yeah, one thing that is fun to see is just how the heart rates are being affected the later we get into this. Of course, this is the most important game for either one of these teams thus far. 1-1 currently in the series. This is map number 3 to decide who goes through to the finals for a chance to compete against the winner of Division versus Euronics later on this evening. We can currently see Penta. They've got 4 players over towards this B site. They leave Tarzan back at mid as per usual, just trying to watch for any sort of early aggression coming out from alternate. Well, he's not going to be able to find any just yet. They throw smokes and flashes into the site to start things off. Tizian playing over towards drop is tasked with holding this down, and as Slice falls, he's playing up close. Stefan finds a second frag, and that's going to completely diminish the players on this B site. You can see Mike S quick to refrag out on a Crispy. Gimpen on the rotate through, finds himself locked in the 2 versus 4 now. He's stuck quite literally between rock and a hard place, as he is just forced to take these engagements. Able to find one, looking for a second, and he gets it. Mike S goes down, and now it's Oscarish versus Gimpen. 1 versus 1, bomb planted.
Flash goes over, Oscar, she's fully blind. Oh, and Gimpun, he's so exposed, takes him down, and 11 rounds now turning into 12 there for aTTaX. He has plenty of time for that defuse, especially with the kit, and what a round to get going. He brings it back, and Gimpun, I mean, I don't want to bash on him, but he's one of the standards has not really been having too much impact in the first two maps. He definitely is here, 19 kills in this third map, right when he's most needed. He has stepped up to the biggest extent, so Gimpun really shining out for the aTTaX side, especially in terms of picking up those rounds. So great clutch there. Going into the next one, though, we do have the bite regardless. Penta bomb down for them. They have plenty of money left, so that is going to be the AKs up for either side. But yeah, we've really not seen too much AWP showing on this map, which is a map you kind of see the AWP picked up quite a lot. We got it a lot on Dust 2, not so much on Cash, but yeah, Cbble is a map you can definitely utilise that AWP, especially on that B site. So I'm quite surprised we haven't seen that as often.
Could not agree more. This round, though, Hugo, when we look at it, they've just snuck all the way up mid. They've completely bypassed the aTTaX players. Tasked with trying to hold that one down. Crispy's able to get one. Now he comes in from the flank, but he can't quite spot anyone out. Same with his teammate over towards long. Spryson slowly but surely going for the push. The retake already underway. Bomb isn't down just yet. As a matter of fact, it's struggling to even get onto the site. It's going to get dropped, and now the frags coming in left and right. It's all on Crystal. 1 versus 4. He's able to get 2 frags for his troubles. A nice one tap there on a Gimpun. But that's going to be it as aTTaX. They take it to a 10-13 scoreline. And I don't know what they've done, but in these last couple of rounds, it seems like they've found their footing. They're playing with a lot of confidence. Their aim is holding true. And right now, they're shutting down Penta at almost every avenue.
Oh my god, Harry, that rhymed.
What?
That rhymed.
Nice.
Nice.
I do it accidentally. I'm quite literally the rap god. I love it. Let's go.
He is. Confirmed. That was sick. Sick lyrics from Harry, but I think
you
we're
can
going
get my
into
full mixtape, actually, right now on... Yeah, SoundCloud, go there, download it.
SoundCloud.com/just Harry GG. Someone's going to take that link now, aren't they, Harry? Or do you actually have a SoundCloud?
I actually don't have a SoundCloud, so no, we're all good.
No, you're a Apple Music kind of guy. But I think we're into a pause now, and yeah, Penta Sports tactical timeout. That makes a lot of sense. I do like that idea. Obviously, they have been having their struggles so far. The last couple of rounds not really gone their way, and now we're feeling like... you know, it's hedging very heavily towards aTTaX. It's not completely over, no, but it's definitely looking to be close. So Penta making this timeout, you know, just discuss what's going wrong, and even if they don't have anything to say, just chill out, take a minute, and kind of reset your heartbeat rate, and they hopefully should be fine going back into the second half.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at these handsome Penta Sports players, you can just think, we know that you are sweating because your heart rate is 170. It is literally faster than like a cheetah in the thrill of the hunt. And you know, they're just sitting there, probably going to let that calm down a little bit. One player who doesn't need to calm down anymore is Gimpun. His was extremely high in the first map, and now it's like consistently 70. Which means he's the most chilled guy in the room. Probably the most chilled guy in all of Germany. So it is, you know, going to be working out for them in that regard. But the pause is coming in from Penta, like you say. I do think it's incredibly justified. It's finally going to be called off. Let's see if what they discussed, what they've come up with in that pause is going to be coming into effect here. It won't really be for this round. This is probably going to be the round to try and bolster their economy. We're really going to see the effect of the pause coming in next round. As Siriusson up close and personal shuts down 2 players early on. You can see Tizian bypasses that smoke, keeps the aggression going, shuts down 2, looking for a third, but it's Gimpun to find it as it goes 10-14. Alternate attacks 1 round away from series point.
Yeah, this is really, really scary now for Penta. I mean, as you said, the pause is going to come into fruition, or at least the tacticalness, I guess, called out by the pause, is going to be coming into effect in this round, in the most important one as well, because this is Penta's only avenue to get back into this map. And while the loss bonus may be massive for them at the moment, if they lose out on this round, their buy is going to be nothing as effective as this going into the last one of the half. So. The last one of the map, I guess. So it's very important that they pick this up. They can't afford to go to 15-10 or it should all be over. But Mike, that's a good way to start it off. Flash goes in, he's fully blind, takes a luck shot, and boom, the numbers roll right in front of his face. Searson's going to go down, and aTTaX uphill battle from the start.
Yeah, they do already find themselves a man down, which is the best kind of start we've seen for Penta in quite a while. Now, can they capitalize on this? It's going to be vitally important that opening frag actually leads to something productive. As we have seen a couple of times, they start things off very well, and then alternate attacks are there just to trade things back out and ultimately come out on top.
Just a button. JLD let you know, Harry, you're actually incorrect with the information. The
saw,
cheater's resting heart rate is approximately 120 to 170 beats per minute, while its heart rate after a chase is 200 to 250 beats per minute. Thank you, JLD312, for that information. That is very much appreciated. But regardless, back into the round.
Yeah, so that aside, it is going to be you know, they're more attuned to the resting heart rate of a cheater, but still, that's pretty damn high. And then for the time being, we see Oskarish and Stefan. They both find 2 frags between them. Now it's going to be Enki J and Crispy. 2 versus 4. Make that a 1 versus 5, sorry. All on Crispy. He pushes through the smoke, and it's going to be dropped out of the equation. Stefan takes him down. It's going to be an 11-14 scoreline. 3 rounds between them. And let's not forget alternate attacks poised 1 round away from series point.
Yeah, that is going to be the case. So scary stuff, as we have been saying. But I'm just really happy that Harry's cheater knowledge is going to be disproved. But you know, that's made my day there. But look at this buy from alternate attacks. They got the full buy up, yes, but the kit is only going to be on 1 player. That's Enki J. So that's something to take into account, especially if Penta do take this B site that they are heading up towards and get that bomb down as well. It's going to be scary stuff because, you know, having 1 kit and while that can be scavenged and picked up, you know, what if he's killed on a rotation? What if he's killed... You know, he is playing the A site solo right now. What if we see just Tarson push up onto A, take him down, the rest of the players take B? It's just all these situations can come into account. So it's really getting scary. And the pressure is getting to Enki J so much that he's got 140 beats per minute on his heart rate. So most of anyone in his team. So that's a lot of pressure, clearly.
I don't know how Gimpin's this relaxed. I don't think I've ever been that relaxed in my life, let alone in like one of the most important matches so far. But we're going to be seeing Stefan open things up, drop Satsirison very early on. The man advantage once again on the cards for Penta here. Looking to try and capitalize on it as they did previously. Tizzy and Task were trying to trade things out. Can't quite land that shot. He does flash himself through. Right now, they're doing a very good job of holding back this push from Penta. Not allowing them to make any sort of leeway, any sort of progress out on towards the B site. They might have that opening frag, but so far all they've got to show for it is a little bit of drop-down control, which even then is being challenged by Tizzy, and he's playing this close angle, and if he can find this frag out on a Stefan, it's not going to bode well for Penta here.
The time is so low, though. They have to hurry up with this one. Tizian's actually going to make that play, and he will at least get 1 kill for his troubles, but it's going to be a 4-on-4, and the bomb still yet to go down on the site. We have to see this back off from Tarson on the A side, but meanwhile, the bomb, it's yet to go down. 20 seconds, it's just ticking away. You've got to keep an eye on that crystal. He's going to get himself 1, but a quick trade going to go back onto him. Gimpin, he's holding onto the site very, very slowly, and he is doing a great job as well. They aren't able to get this plant until they get rid of the worm and the snake in the grass, but Mike is going to jump in and do exactly that. NK trying to deny this bomb plant. He'll come around just at the wrong time, and Tarson is going to get that kill. Massive round for Penta. So close. I thought it was almost over, but Gimpin just going to get overrun. So the round actually going to Penta Sports at the end of the day, but 12-14, and it's not done just yet. I think we're going to be going to 14-14, as I imagine an eco will be coming through now.
I mean, I'm fearful right now, Hugo. I'm worried if we see this go through to overtime, hearts are literally going to explode.
Yeah.
As,
not Gimpins.
It is. No, not Gimpins. He'll just like slip nice and easy into a very deep sleep for the rest of his life. Yeah. But we can see right now, even his is actually climbing, just to show how tense this is. Stefan and Mike S making quick work of the B hold here. They push on out. The rest of the team actually pushing on towards A, just playing Ring Around the Roses. Streisand, what was that? Just toying with his food before he eats it. Finally takes out Mike S. Stefan's going to be the one to try and refrag that, and he does so. And KJ up close and personal with the USP. It's going to be dropped out. The Glock coming up the better out of those weapons there, leaving this all on Gimpin here. The most relaxed player in the world, making his way in through mid. Does have a P250. Perhaps he's relaxed because he's not really hitting anything. Who knows? It's going to be 13-14 now.
It's scary. Gimpin's heart rate in that gunfight was lower than his standing heart rate before the match. 9 points lower. How? He is a monster. But regardless, back into the game, and this is a very key round. If Alternate Attax lose this one, I think we could legitimately be seeing Penta steal this one away from 14-10 to, well, 16-14. It's looking very, very likely here. It will be their last attempt to buy, and Eco is going to be on the cards after this, but we know what Alternate Attax are like. They don't like to Eco at 15-14 or 14-14. They would 100% force. So you know, if, say, Penta pick up this one, alternate aTTaX will force it into the 14-14, potentially lose that as well, and then have no money for the final round. So I'm getting very scared because this round is turning very heavily in the favour of Penta. 3 entries already just while I was chatting garbage, and Searson, he's going to be forced out of position as well. Tarson taking him, and Enki, save, my man, save. There's no reason to go for this one.
I mean, you can already hear the crowd getting so hyped up by this comeback from Penta, and it looks to get even closer. It's going to go 14-14. We're going to be going the full 30 rounds. Enki J trying to save, going to be spotted out and eliminated. Stefan is the one tasked with that. Manages to do so as it goes to a 14-14 scoreline. The comeback is very real right now from Penta, and we are going to be seeing attack pause coming in now for the CT side.
Indeed, we are. Hopefully they can work out what the hell's going wrong right now, because they came into this one very good score. They were winning by a good margin, and now, much as we kind of saw on Cash, it's getting caught up for them. But this time it doesn't look like they are going to be the victors here. Penta seem to be sneaking in from behind, and I think there is a good chance they may be able to steal this map away from them. Harry, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, like I said, you really have to rely, if you're on aTTaX, you really have to rely on having that strong T-side start, right? Because they are playing with 2 stand-ins. This is a map where having smooth rotates as the CTs is so incredibly pivotal, I can't even put it into words. So the second they didn't really have a very clear margin of victory on their T-side, the second it was quite close with Penta, allowing them to get such a strong start, and now Penta being on their T-side with their full 5 team, I think this is definitely still on the cards to Penta here. I mean, it's going to be close either way, but we're either going to be seeing overtime, or I do genuinely think that we could actually see Penta win this 16-14.
Yeah. It's looking more and more likely by the second, but let's have a look. Alternate aTTaX, they've got that pressure on them. Are they going to force? Are they going to eco? What are they going to do? I think, honestly, my choice is just be eco this. Play for the overtime, because then you only have to win 1 round instead of getting the pressure on you to win 2. You know, while obviously it won't be a great buy, it's still going to be a good chance to get yourself back in the game. So I think overtime is going to be the best chance for them to come back in, but are they going to agree with their decision? Yet to know. Obviously, we'll have a look at their buy in a second to see what they've at least pulled out off the table. But yeah, I would love to know the mindset going into this one for them. I'd love to know the calls. If I could speak German, I'd love to be invading their team speak and stealing their strategy, because this is going to be a very, very important round for them.
Well, I mean, the thing that really kind of harks home to me is just the relationship that these 2 teams have every time throughout all the qualifying cups.
Oh, no.
We saw that aTTaX were the victors. Penta haven't won against them once, but tonight they've already taken 1 map. It's looking like they could potentially take the second, and on Cbble, a map that currently alternate aTTaX are 3-0 on in this league. So it is going to be truly pivotal. 14-14, and we can see aTTaX. They've made the decision to buy on down. Searson playing up close and personal with the Mag 7. This is the angle he'd want to try and get the frag, but he misses the shot. Stefan allowed to escape with his life. Doesn't want to be peeking that angle anytime soon. Molotov to force Searson out of position, and you can already see the rest of Penta slowly but surely relocating over towards this B site, looking like this is going to be where they're focusing their attention, which actually is going to bode quite well here for aTTaX. Either that, or we're going to see them all pile up and go for the usual fake, where they throw the smokes and flashes in and then double on back towards A. But as they rotate Crystal out of mid, it is looking like B will be the site in question.
Yeah, these shotguns I'm not a huge fan. They're actually going to rotate NK off as well. He goes towards the A side expecting some kind of push there, but it's not going to be correct. It's all on CS, and he has to get 2. He does! No, that's a team kill with a Molotov. 1G's up in chat. Tarson's going to take down Oscar, and now we're into a 5 versus 3. Penta, they're going to start to fall. They're starting to crumble, and they can't afford to lose another man to this Mag 7. CS is just making havoc. He finally goes down. Refrag going to be through, but it's a 3v3. The shotgun not going to be the best weapon to take control back of the site, but here, Tizian, he's going to be playing very close to the AK. If he could catch up Crystal, it could suddenly be swinging back heavily in the favour of alternate aTTaX, but they are just biding their time. They're waiting for the sound of the bomb plants. They know one player isn't going to be able to do anything, and that's when they're going for the strike. And you can already see pushing up through the smoke is going to be Crispy. He isn't going to get caught off just yet. They get the damage out. Crystal's very tagged up. He peeks into the open, goes down. Crispy gets the first. NK follows, and Tizian, he gets the round for them. Alternate aTTaX, they pick up 15-14, and I did not like that force, but it definitely worked out.
I mean, I don't know how. It really shouldn't have. seen them have much better buys than that and lose to Penta, but ultimately slicing up on the Mag 7, put it to work at close range, found, you know, more or less those 2 frags. One of them was the team kill on the back of the Molotov, but still he did so much damage that he shouldn't have been allowed to do. The only upside here for Penta is they do have enough money, more than enough money to buy up into this one. The buy from aTTaX still pretty weak. You still have the XM1014 on the back of NKJ, and you know, the AWP on Syrison is a nice change of pace here. Issue is, we haven't really seen AWPs out on the side of alternate attacks so far. Bringing one into the equation now could disrupt kind of the flow of how we've seen them playing. It's a little bit risky. Hopefully it does pay off, and as he goes to face Mike S, it's not going to be looking good. Oh, they just look away. They just missed each other there. Like the sun and moon. There he goes. Ryson out with a fine thing, and he takes out Mike S early on. Already, Penta playing this with a man down. It's going to be an uphill battle from here on in.
God, a real uphill battle is going to be presented to them. It's not your average uphill battle. It's like a really steep cliff, you know. It's like a mountain to climb, and they are not the goats for the job. Left on 4 players, 1 minute left on the clock. They are going to try and commit back into this B site. Stefan gets shot in the face. Has Tizian to find it. Alternate attacks, 1 by 1. They're looking like they're going to close out this map, and what a dismay for Penta, because after such a great couple of maps for them, at least in this one as well, and almost an attempted comeback, it should just finally fall, you'd like to think, for them. But either way, they will continue this push into the site. Searson hitting off a tag. He receives a fair bit of damage as well. Both of them down to 30. And now the rest of the players making their way out of this plateau. Sorry, Tizian set up. There's 30 seconds left. They need to hit their shots, and he's going to be waiting for this first engagement. It does come down. That's Tarson to take it, but Searson will utilise that AWP trade from Oscar. But look at this push around the back of the site. It's going to be it. NK takes it, and that will be it. We are going to see alternate attacks head to the grand finals after they defeat their formidable opponents, Penta, taking it finally 16-14 in the 3rd map of Cobblestone, and they will be up against the winners of Division versus Euronics, which will be coming up later as well as the next semi-final match. But I mean, let's not take the heat away from alternate attacks. What a phenomenal performance for them, and you know, commiserations to Penta. They did their very best, but it's just not going to go their way.
I mean, alternate attacks, they continue at 4-0 on Cobble. It was looking so incredibly close, and it must have been terrifying. Oh, I thought he was about to get denied the high five there, and that was the most awkward thing ever. But, you know, we'll move on. Still, an amazing performance from both teams. Penta, they came so incredibly close to doing it. But alternate attacks, like we say, 4-0 now on Cobble, and they continue the trend. They also managed to beat Penta out once again. And as a result, Penta, they're going to be heading home. That's it. They're done, aren't they, I believe? Meanwhile, it is going to be alternate attacks versus the winner, like you say, of Devizon versus Euronics, which is coming up very soon.
Yep, it will be. I'm just going to get the graphic for you now so everyone can keep up to date with what's been happening today. I'm just uploading the overlay for you guys on the screen, and then we will have a little look at that. So, obviously, that's actually, it's scary because that's the only game we've played today, Harry. That's the only game we've played, and that should just be updating for you guys now. And there it is. So, you can see on your screens that alternate attacks, they have made it through to the grand finals with a great performance there in all 3 maps. And unluckily for Penta, they're going to be falling short. €1,600 for them indeed. So that's a little bit of pocket money to take home, I guess you could say. But at the end of the day, alternate attacks will be guaranteeing themselves second, which means at least 3,400 and maybe even 7,500. So great stuff so far. But again, guys, we are going to be going into the second matchup very shortly. Before that, though, we have got a short break, and then we'll be back with you later. So again, be sure to follow the channel, stick around, and we'll see you very shortly.